Missy, you have to unmute.
You know, I unmuted and then I got muted again. It's amazing, these technical challenges. Well, good morning, everybody. It is the 26th of September and autumn has just arrived. It's the leaves are gorgeous and interesting about autumn. The equinox has been here and it's a door. It's a doorway. The Celts calls it the hinges, where we can step through doorways. We can make choices, times of transformation. And so it's lovely as we look at community and we look at love and we look at where we want to make choices and step through doorways. And we do it together as a community. And it's the love. And I love coming here every Sunday and just joining with you all as we move forward into love together and know ourselves as God with us, for us, and as us. So we want to welcome everybody today. And we want to welcome all those, if you're new, please come back and see us again and join us always with the heart love, because that's what we're about. And we want to welcome all those that come back time after time, because you're our foundation. You're the church. Church doesn't have to be a member. Church is the heart of our community. Today is the 26th of September. We are still in the year of manifesting, and our themes for today are Only I Can Free Me, Daily Practice Creating Freedom, and First God, Then Me. And with that in mind, let's take a moment and just, quickly take a sip of coffee or water, and then close your eyes, turn off those cell phones or put them on mute, and just relax into your heart space, into knowing the God as you, with you, for you, and with you, but mostly as you and through you. While Cedar plays us some meditation music to help take us within to the love within. And allow those flute notes to just drop into the heart. The universe, one song. The symphony of consciousness, that we are all notes within. the melody that is our lives, the rhythm that works through us, with us, for us, and as us, the master musician. God is, God is, God is. And allow this music to flow through you and through your body and down into the earth and build roots to anchor you to the earth, but yet move up through you and form branches and leaves so that you radiate the song of life, the song of God is, God is, God is, so that through you, the song is passed person to person, consciousness to consciousness, so that all may know themselves as the light of God manifest. This we know ourselves as truth. So be it, and so we let it be. So God is, God is, God is. Thank you so much, Cedar. That was so lovely. So lovely. I love the flute. It always wants to take me away. And I like to fly with the flute. It's very celestial. Patty is going to give us our spiritual thought today.
Yes, I am. Good morning. Thank you, Cedar. That was just really nice. I like that. And hi, Joe and Marilyn. I'm glad you're here. Love you both. So as Missy said, this month's sermon topics are Only I Can Free Me, Daily Practice Creating Freedom, and First God, Then Me. I've taken to pinning our topics up on my bulletin board in my office at Tenaya Lodge. It's kind of an inspiration, especially when work gets too stressful, and work has been stressful lately. If any of you are back to work, I'll tell you, it's stressful. But I'm glad to be back to work. It's inspiration. I like taking, I like having the PLC and Science of Mind and these ideas, there in my daily life. So they're up on my bulletin board there. So last week, Angie, you talked about how these topics were tools. They're great. And I agree. They are great tools to have in your wheelhouse, especially your spiritual wheelhouse. But it also reminded me of a photo meme that I have taped up in the engineering shop at Tenaya. It's a picture of Scotty from Star Trek. He was the chief engineer on the USS Enterprise, and it has these little words above it that say, how many times must I tell you, laddie? Talk about, Scottish brogue or Irish brogue. How many times must I tell you, laddie, use the right tool for the right job? And I got thinking about this, and I just cringe when I see one of my engineers using a crescent wrench as a hammer. It just makes no sense. You use the right tool for the right job. So the question I've been pondering this week is that if these are the right tools, what is the right job? What am I supposed to be doing here on this earth plane? Surely I must have a purpose other than leaving a big fat carbon footprint on our beleaguered little planet here. So I took my cue from a special guest that we hosted at Tenaya just a few days ago. Now, as hospitality professionals, the staff at Tenaya Lodge typically refrains from blabbing about celebrities who visit our resort. especially if they're here on vacation and they just want to be anonymous. I mean, they're people too. They don't want to be celebrities all the time. And most of the famous actors are quite good at being anonymous. I found this out. I had a nice chat with one guest who was asking about, well, how long does it take to get to the valley floor? And when I get there, what are the best sights to see? Should I go see this waterfall or that waterfall? Or, should I go to the Awani or what? And, we had a nice chat for about 10 minutes. And then later I discovered I had been speaking with Mel Gibson. He's not nearly as tall as I thought he was. And I didn't recognize him at all. But it was Mel Gibson, and I digress. I'm not supposed to be talking about that. But our special guest this month was not an actor, but it was Deepak Chopra. And he was hosting a silent meditation retreat at the lodge. Now, I didn't get a chance to talk to him. I only caught a glimpse of him, but I was absolutely gobsmacked by the aura that he and his entourage just brought to the lodge. It was crazy. There was just this feeling. I don't know how to describe it, but my engineers and I were scratching our heads and saying, how are they going to pull off silence for 5 whole days? I mean, what if someone locked themselves out of their room, which happens all the time? What if their toilet gets clogged or a light bulb burns out and we have to come fix it? How are we going to know if they're in silence? But Chopra's people, they've been doing this for years. They had it all down. And they had it down. They had notepads available. They had designated communicators that worked with our staff, and they helped us to support their vision of a silent retreat in the Sierras. I was amazed to see how our typically right-wing leaning staff started, doing namaste, doing this. And they were silently tiptoeing around people meditating out on the grounds, and there were yoga people doing handstands out on the lawn, and it was really strange but good. It was strange but good. So we made sure that the lighting was sufficiently dimmed for the yoga sessions, and our chefs got great experience preparing vegan meals. Many of our staff shared that they had Googled Chopra and they had no idea how influential he was. And as I said, I took my cue from this special guest, Dr. Chopra. I just ordered one of his books called Power, Freedom, and Grace. And that was because one of the signs they had posted for the retreat had this quote from him that reads, "When you live your life with an appreciation of coincidences and their meanings, you connect with the underlying field of infinite impossibilities." And with infinite impossibilities, I'm sure I'm going to find that right job for my right tools. And so it is.
That was so nice. Thank you, Patty. That was so nice and reflective. It makes you think, it makes you feel, and I liked the imagery you gave us, because it's going to stay with us for a while. Thank you so much. Your heartfelt talk this morning. Cedar, could you please grace us with another of your wonderful songs? I love the timbre of that flute. What kind of flute is it?
It's an Irish flute and it's made of Delrin, so it's synthetic and keyless.
Oh, that is so nice. That is so nice. It's I love the I mean it's so mellow but yet a strong feeling, you know. It's the timbre is just so nice. Thank you, thank you. All right. Now our program speaker for this morning, who's bringing us the great outdoors from, I think, she said Philadelphia, Tennessee, the Reverend Jenny Evans. Jenny, are you still on?
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah. Oh, good, good. Yes.
Sorry, I lost you a minute. Sam was at the door. He's hunting lizards this morning. He was scratching a parking door.
Okay. Well, now the wonderful Jenny Evans from Philadelphia, Tennessee, coming from the great outdoors.
Well, I'm actually still in Kingston, but
Oh, you're
next
still in
week,
Kingston.
the next time I talk with you, I'll take my iPad and show you around the place a little bit. It's really, really beautiful. Okay. I love Only I Can Free Me. because there's nothing but me and my ego and my thinking to be free of, right? Would you agree? I'm watching a very spiritual animal communication webinar course from Anna Breitenbach and Brad Laughlin. And part of the title, which I love, which is part really is something that I carry within my heart, have for many years. And the theme is change the world by changing yourself. And so I love the topics. I agree with Missy that the three topics this month were they're just so soft and sweet. I just really am enjoying working with them. I came across this amazing quote by Ernest that I wanted to share. It's so different than anything I had ever heard or ever read that he wrote, but it fits where we are. He says, we have to have the same faith in what we teach as the scientist has and as the gardener has. And when the great simplicity shall be plumbed and penetrated this density of ours, this human stolidness and stupidity, this debauchery of the intellect and the soul, something new and wonderful will happen. It is the only thing that will keep the world from destroying itself. And it was put into a pamphlet put out by the Los Angeles Church of Religious Science in 1987 called The Path of Discovery. And I just thought, oh, it is so appropriate for these days. So for me, it's incredibly simple to realize the truth that God is working in us, as us, and through us. However, and for us to know that we're one with all there is, that we're immersed in, we're connected to all beings. However, this dis-ease of us being separate appears, or at least maybe you guys had a better time of it, but for me, it's been a monumental hurdle to get to overcome. I mean, standing and thinking I am one with all there is, it just is very humbling. But at once upon a time, you know, I thought it was arrogant and selfish and blasphemous even to even think that there might be the possibility that I was divine, even though, you know, and perhaps I was thinking of other churches and their fundamentalistic idea of the Father in the sky, the punishing God Jehovah, or even my own scary father, who I very easily could have mirrored my early ideas of what God was. But I am a child of God, and I am made in his image, and especially that I am one with love. So that I had to, and that's such a much more comfortable idea of my current beliefs than the old arrogant, you know, sinner going to hell kind of routine. So it has taken me many, many years of work for me to even begin to feel that my flaws, that God just saw me as loving, as a loving part of itself. And my flaws don't even mean anything to him, you know, and most everybody else who loves me, they overlook my eccentricities and my specialness that makes me me, that gives me my own special flavor, if you will, or own special spice. But it took me a long time in Al-Anon years ago. Thank God for the alcoholics in my life, because they were the first. It was Al-Anon and Religious Science that began to shape my my beginning path in terms of who I have become as a result of the work that I've done. And one of the exercises they used to tell me to do was to go into the bathroom and put my hands on the bathroom sink and look at myself in the eyes and tell me I loved me. Well, it took months for me to be able to do that. But there was a day when I could believe that that was true. And that was a profound step forward in feeling that this invisible force that we call supreme creator, intelligence, absolute love, that I could be valid in that I wanted piece of the puzzle, that I had purpose here, and that I had, that I was a special part, even though I'm one with all there is. There's only one me, as there are. Each one of us brings our own special gifts and opinions and art and talents and love and work to the puzzle. He's at the front door again. He's just gonna have to find his way back here. Today, I see how the challenges that I originally had, that I've overcome, have how important they were. I was listening to someone talk about, my cousin, who had just recently lost her son, talked about, well, it's my sister's fault because of this and that. And I thought, I love the Japanese phrase that they don't look for fault, they look for solution. And that's the way I find my life. It's like, what value does finding fault do for anything? There's just absolutely no value in it. So it's like, who cares whose fault it is? Let's just get it cleaned up and taken care of and move on, because I don't want to spend time with this anymore. I wanted to share with you today part of my own journey. Some of you who are in this meeting here, Marianne Dvorak for one, and Jennifer Flaherty, years ago took a course that came up to Oakhurst at my request called Women in Discovery. And when we graduated from that program, we had to take a ropes course. Maybe some of you have done a ropes course before, but I see Patty shaking her head, yes. Well, there was one when it came to the truss fall, and I don't know if you're familiar, but you stand on this little ledge on a tree 4 feet up, and you have to fall backwards into the arms of 8 people standing below you to catch you. Well, when I first did that fall, I did everything I could to get back to that tree. And so I failed terribly. And so I had to do it again. And the second aspect, the one that was so moving for me, is that we were supposed to be blindfolded and follow this rope line to the end. And when we got to the end, I just stood at the tree and didn't let go of the rope. And when they took the blindfold off of me, they said, if you'd have taken one step forward without the rope, we were right here to take your hand. But it was such a profound experience, just those little exercises, in order to help me see the healing work that I needed to do for myself in order to be free of me. I think I'm just going to talk because I don't know where I am in my, I hope you guys will allow me to do this because I'm pretty goofy this morning. Okay. My dog is barking. All right. Excuse, I'm going to walk you guys to the door and let this silly dog in. Forgive me. So the freedom to be me, the freedom that, hold on a minute. Oh, well. The freedom that I need, the only thing that stands in my way is me. There is nothing but me that clouds my judgment, actually makes me things appear as they aren't. I was thinking that when I came from California, which is actually a year ago this weekend, that I had so many fears and resistance to it that I felt that the universe had to peel my fingers from the steering wheel, because I had many, many fears about what this part of it was going to look like when I got here. And what was my life going to look like after I had let go of the life that I had built in Oakhurst? And I am flattened by the warmth and the beauty and the friendship extended. There's a quality to it that I don't think, if I had changed and made the changes that I made, that I would have seen what I'm seeing at this moment. I was sharing with everyone earlier that I did a Native American ceremony the other night honoring the land out there. There's my nephew and sister, about 114 acres. And Judy told me that, she said, don't be surprised if by honoring the land, thank you, Patty, by honoring the land that the birds land in the trees to sit and listen to what it is that you're doing. So I'm reaching for a deeper part of myself. I'm reaching for a place within myself that truly feels that I can live with a completely open heart and be as vulnerable, because years ago, a lady, I think I've shared this with you, that told me what I thought were my strengths were actually my weaknesses, and what my strengths were what my weaknesses were actually my strengths. And I understand that to be an open heart is considered weak and vulnerable to some, and it isn't. Actually, I feel that the force of love within me, being willing to open my heart, actually feels like a steam engine, and it feels so huge and so strong that there's nothing that I cannot overcome with the aid of all that's all around me, who wants nothing but the best for me, and wants me to live this affirmation. By the way, one of the things that I was always worried about years ago was, in religious science, they talk about do your affirmations and all of those things. And I just did not have confidence in those affirmations because I didn't believe it. I still had too much fear, too much doubt that those affirmations to me just sounded like empty words. And it has taken me, but the good news is that it has taken me all of these years of just sort of trusting, even though I have trust issues, trusting that these affirmations had meaning, had not only meaning, but they actually had substance. That's what I needed, was substance. And I needed, and because I'm a doubting Thomas, I needed to see it with my own eyes. And I can say that I feel like all of the work that I'm doing is paying off. I have a feeling of trust in the abundance that's everywhere present around me, and bless Sandy's heart, she knows we've had many, many of these talks about my trust issues, that I didn't think that God was going to pull it together for me. And not only have I been proven wrong, I'm thankfully, gratefully willing to say, but I am deeply humbled by the experience of abundance that I'm having right now, even though by the world standards, I haven't worked in a year, so how does that work? It's just breathtaking. So some of the things that I came across in terms of what can we do to help create freedom in our lives? If you are a doubting Thomas, if you're a worrier like I am, some of the things that I have been given through the years, which I thought were so cute, is just merely to think about things that make you happy. Think about, you can do the breathing exercises and just be conscious of your breath, because it turns your head off for a little while. A friend of mine years ago said, I like to put the negative thinking that's going on in my head in a Ziploc and throw it out on the freeway. There's a lot of wonderful little things that you can do that have meaning, that have substance for you personally, that can help flip you from a state of worry or fear or anxiety into just accepting what is. And of course, I always go back to, turn that off, always back to Krishnamurti's idea of, his secret was, I don't mind what happens. And so I've thought a lot about that. It's like, I don't mind whether my teeth fall out or how, I get a flat tire on the way home, or it's like, it just is. Excuse me a minute. Oh, I don't know where my water, oh, there it is. So some of the other things that can make us feel really awesome is, what is your favorite colors? What's your favorite movie? What was one of the best jokes that you heard younger on that still make you giggle? You can spin, if you're in a bad place, If you take your arm, put your arms out and just spin in the living room, it's amazing how it will pull your spirits up. And so I can't, what's the last topic, Sandy?
First God, then me.
Well, I really wanted to address that because, first of all, there really isn't such a thing as me without God. There is, I mean, I am in this vast creative intelligence, pure love, just shooting life out everywhere at us. That's nothing but joyous and abundant. I mean, it's just everywhere. It's so incredibly beautiful to watch. And so there is, I wouldn't want me ahead of God. But I think that I lived most of my life that way because I thought that I had to do it alone. And I have found out that I never take a step alone. I love that old quote. Most of you are familiar with it about walking down the beach with the two sets of footsteps, and then there's only one, and God says, I've been carrying you all along. Well, I believe that I'm walking that way these days. I have. It's just a new awareness of my consciousness has gotten to the point where I seem to be living all of the things I've been learning about, and slowly, tinily learning to trust. And it seems to have just bloomed like a rose in my heart. So forgive me for being so impromptu today, but I know you guys have all moved before and you know what it's all about. But it's just, gosh, I'm so very, very grateful that you guys allow me to come and share my path with you. And I can't tell you what my relationships with all of you mean. So thank you very much.
And thank you, Jenny. You know, it's interesting. I have found that when I'm in the lessons of trust, my notes disappear.
Beautifully said. Yes.
Yes, and let me tell you, Jenny, when all the times that your notes have disappeared, and every once in a while you notice that they do, that's when your talks are a wow, because they come straight from the heart. And let me tell you, today it was just like, yeah, you know, and
Thank you.
and where you're going is perfect, right? Trust that the words are given to you because you speak from the heart, you speak from experience, and you speak from your own growth, and that's what we need to hear. And thank you so much, because what you had to say today was perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Let's all take a breath. And we are into our offertory. And please say with me our offertory prayer. Divine love flowing through me blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive. And both in the iFocus and in the chat box, I've put where you can give your donations. I really love the part about the donations and the blessings, because what you bless, you know, and don't forget when you give to bless it, because by blessing, you're increasing and multiplying both for you, because God provides. God is the source of our supply, and God provides amazing channels of prosperity both for you and for PLC. And as you send it out, it comes back multiplied. So thank you for all the blessings for both you and for the PLC. And thank you for all the love that you all bring to us. Our announcements, Jenny, of course, our beloved speaker for today, is also the practitioner of the day. And of course, if you have any prayer work needed during the week, feel free to get with Joe, who's the head of our practitioner team, and he will send out the requests to the prayer team. And that prayer team is a magnificent prayer team, and they know for you the truth of the situation, of the truth of you, of whatever is your requirement, whatever that you need to know wholeness through and for and as the prayer team does. And whenever I needed prayer work, Sandy used to tell me, she says, just hitchhike on my belief. You know, we all need it every once in a while. And so just hitchhike on the prayer team's beliefs and knowing this. So feel free to do that. Next week's speaker is the first of the month of October next week, and it will be the Reverend Sandy West. And let me put it back to gallery so I can see if there's anybody have any announcements. I'm looking for any raised hands. I guess not. So let's go ahead and let's see. And in the chat box, I put the prayer of protection for those that don't have it. And if you could say with me the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. The energy of God is me. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. So we can ask Sandy if she could give the closing treatment, please.
As we think about the prayer of protection, take it deep within your essence and know the truth of it. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. It is a promise. It is a gift. It is a statement of fact. All is well, no matter what the illusion around us is, no matter what the TV or the papers or the magazines say. All is well in all of our lives. Know this truth, accept it, clutch it. Know that it flows in and out of us. Know that there is change, but the change is for us. The change is our truth, and the change will not harm. It only enhances our abilities to evolve, to learn, to become. Our beingness is centered around this evolutionary process. And as you go forth this week, take your essence with you. Take your smile with you. Radiate who and what you are to everyone around you and every place that you go. Life is good, and I accept it for all of us. And I know in the truth of our being, all is well. And I give such glorious thanks for that which is mine. And say with me, please, and so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good week.
Thank you. Thank you.